Canada. It's what you do, right?
That's right. It's not cool
It's
here. It's just kind of normal.
yeah, it's just kind of normal. Is that really kind of it's part of the culture, I guess, huh? You just kind of grow up and that's sort of the sport you find yourself in.
Yeah, it's getting more like diverse now, but definitely
Yeah.
when I was growing up, it was one of the only options, especially in Saskatchewan. It's super cold there, so
Yeah.
we're always on the ice.
You're in Ontario right now, huh?
I'm in Ontario now, so I've
Okay.
moved across Canada a lot, but
I have a lot of a majority of my family lives in Canada. So my grandparents are from Canada and everything. So yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so it's I forget where they live. I don't know. It's in Canada. I sound so stupid right now, but yeah, most of my family comes from Canada. So
Well, yeah, I must know them.
was that? I don't know. Maybe I don't know if they're in Ontario or like Saskatchewan. I'm not sure. I don't know if I don't think Canada's like that small town where it's like, oh yeah, I know them totally, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I doubt that's the vibe it gives off. Unlike Louisiana, where every single person knows everybody here. So, but no, I read your story and I wanted to ask you. I have a lot of questions for you and some kind of deep ones because I read that you were diagnosed with celiacs at an early age.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on top of that, it's funny when I read that, it bears repeating now with how a lot of us kind of go into like the gluten intolerance thing. What's your thought on that? Because you had actual celiacs. You have like diagnosed I'm burning holes through my stomach celiac disease, right? And
Yeah, so I found out when I was 18 that I had celiac disease. It was kind of just coming out, like it wasn't as big as it is now and as much awareness. So I went for a year undiagnosed to the point where it felt like somebody was stabbing me in the stomach and twisting it, and I couldn't get up. My roommates would find me passed out in my bed from scratching my back
mm,
so much because I was so
itchy.
itchy. Yeah, my face was like disintegrating, like
Mm,
off, like my skin was just like so malnourished. And so I went to
wow.
doctor after doctor after doctor, and they tested for some crazy stuff. And all of them just said, "You're fine. There's nothing going on. You're fine." When I was clearly, I could barely get up in the morning.
Yeah.
And finally, my mom did some research on it. Thank God for moms. And
Thank
she
God for
told
my
me,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, told me to
Yeah.
go in and ask about it. And sure enough, as soon as I asked, they did the test and it came back that I was celiac. And then from there on out, I started working with more of a naturopath doctor
Yeah.
to really identify what was going to work for me and what wasn't.
But I think that from the naturopath perspective, maybe that helps more with like dealing with the diet perspective as opposed to just getting diagnosed and not knowing where to go from there, you know? So
Totally.
yeah, but that's man, that's insane. And see you're a testament to what it actually looks like. Like this is
Yeah.
yeah, this is what happens when you really struggle with it and you don't just like decide, oh hey, gluten might not sit well with me, you know? So not to say that they're wrong, I just know that people don't have these serious side effects and they just kind of assume that gluten's terrible for them. So it's kind of
Yeah,
they
there's
go down that
definitely
road.
a spectrum of it, right? Like
Yeah.
some people may struggle less and some people may struggle more, but
Hmm.
I think like anything when it comes to diet and fitness, it always gets blown out of proportion by the media on what the
I
quick
agree.
fix is,
I
what
agree.
what the devil is, what the saving grace is when it comes to nutrition. It's always so blown out of proportion. And unfortunately, that kind of sets a stigma for the people who are actually struggling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. No, I agree with that because in our world today, quick fixes are everything.
Yeah.
And learning how to dial it back and scale back your entire lifestyle is kind of not the way to go anymore. And certainly that's what you had to do because I was reading, you were overworked, you weren't eating properly, like there was a lot of things that you had to fix with your exposure in hockey, right? Just being an
Mm-hmm.
athlete, working on like
Mm-hmm.
the 500 calorie a day diet or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like I really think that's what my celiac stems from. Like, I
Mhm.
think it's a few things. I was on a lot of antibiotics as a kid,
Mhm.
but in high school, I kind of got sucked into that eat less, be smaller, starving yourself, overworking
Oh
kind of
yeah.
fitness program. And I
Yeah.
think really that set me up to to be celiac. As much as it's genetic, I think that
Mhm.
I was so worn down that I just like couldn't take anymore, and then it just blew up.
Yeah, and you increased your calorie consumption, right? You went to like 2,000 calories a day. You really kind of took a massive jump, huh?
Yeah, it
It's
wasn't like
impressive.
there was one day when I pulled myself out of that like kind of eating disorder
Hmm.
mentality and overworking and under eating, but over time as I became a personal trainer and started getting more educated with the real stuff, not
Hmm.
stuff from magazines on and online, that I realized how much damage I was really doing. And
Hmm.
now I'm obviously more educated and can make smarter choices. And that does include eating upwards of 2,000 calories or more, 2,500 a day. And a
Yeah,
lot of women say that's craziness. Like everyone should eat 1,200. And that's what diet my trainer put me on. And
and you're like,
it's just
no.
the damage that it really does long term because I've experienced it.
I love that you advocate for this higher calorie consumption, because that's what I'm seeing as of late with people trying to lose weight or go down, a quote unquote more healthy diet plan. It's always way less calories. Nobody thinks that you're supposed to you have to reverse diet. Like, you kind of went down the
Yes.
reverse dieting perspective. You added the calories back in, and you developed a foundation for yourself that is totally adaptable, totally transferable. So you can sit there and you can eat cookies if you wanted to, and you'd still be okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. Like a lot of the times when my clients come to see me, the first thing we do
Hmm.
is we add calories because I
Yes.
get clients coming in
Yes.
who have been dieting their whole life. I'm like, when's the last time you actually tried to stop dieting? Like your
Yes.
body's under so much stress. And if you come in and you see me and you want to lose weight, that's fine. But if you're
Yeah.
eating already 1,200 calories, what am I supposed to drop you to? I can't drop you to 1,000. I can't drop you to 800. You'll pass out and you'll see the damages long term like I did.
Amazing. Yeah, and I was talking to somebody before you who was saying the same exact thing. It's being you have to put yourself at a higher foundation. You can't, like what you said, you can't go lower. You can't go
Yeah.
lower than 1,200 calories. You were there yourself. You know
Yeah.
what it does, you know? So it's
Yeah.
amazing. And then you probably see this too. I see, especially with your transformation too, it's like obvious that your body changed for the better. You had more muscle, you were leaner, you looked healthier, all this great stuff. But a lot of people are posting maybe a before and after picture of when they were low calorie and then when they started eating a hell of a lot more calories. And not only do they look more lean, more muscular, they have six packs. Like, it's
Mhm.
not bulk, it's pleasing muscle. It's amazing, So
Yeah.
I try to do the same thing with people. So it's
Yeah.
pretty
The hard
intense.
part is re-educating people because
Yes.
everybody's been told so long that they need to diet and it's calories in versus calories out. And
Mm,
as much as that is completely true, it is calories in versus calories out, but
it is. Yeah.
I can't take calories away from you if you're not eating any to begin with. So
That's true.
starts by it starts by adding and building them up and making them strong and building that muscle and then gradually reducing if that's a goal that we need to do.
Well, let me ask you this. How do you get your clients past that mental barrier? Because I think that's the big hurdle, is like they can hear all this stuff that you're telling them, but how do you make them do it? What
Yeah.
steps do you take? Because I've struggled with that. When I started as a personal trainer, I knew this stuff, but in the back of my mind, I didn't have the know-how to sit there and, like, how do you make them continue down that path without just losing themselves in discouragement for maybe not seeing the weight on the scale drop? You
Yeah,
know,
that's basically the hardest thing I
it's
do
the
as a
hardest
coach
thing.
is getting people to change their mindset and change what they've believed for so long. And it
Yeah.
really starts with trust and it starts with small changes. So when a
Mm,
client comes in to see me and I know they need to add calories because they're starving, I don't tell them that we're going to go up to, 2,000 calories or 2,500 or whatever it is that they need. I tell them, okay, you're going to, eat one piece of broccoli every day. And then, in a month
Wow,
from
that's
now, we
great.
build on that. We say, okay, you're gonna drink this much water in a day.
Okay.
Now you're going to eat protein at every meal. So month over month, we add these small habits in that eventually lead to big change over time, and also build trust that she added one thing and that worked. And I know this next thing's going to work too. And we build and we build and build to get to a point of trust. And then that's when we really make the talk about, okay, what is your mental health right now, and what are your beliefs in regards to food and dieting, and then we make that change. So it starts small.
Yeah, but you're blowing my mind right now because that's what people are always missing. Like that's what everybody, all of the best trainers in the world, that's what they preach is the compounding of small changes over time to make
That's
that
right.
big change. And I like what you said too about like the one piece of broccoli a day. Even though it's small, you're so right in starting them off with just that little tiny step. I sometimes people bite off more than they can chew, and just doing that much is all it takes. Like sometimes you just have to start there. If
Yes.
somebody's that's a good point. If they've got that real strong mental barrier against eating more food and and not seeing their bodies change as dramatically as they want to, then yeah, I think you got to start them at like a piece of broccoli a day. That's pretty damn cool. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. And with like the water consumption, that's a big one. People don't consume enough water.
No.
It's hard to do, and especially when it's like I don't know. You got it's cold where you are. Do you feel like it's like you have to tell yourself to drink water on the daily basis? Do you carry a gallon of water around with you personally?
Yeah, I carry 3 liters of water with me at all time, and I
No,
usually drink
you're a
like 3 to 5.
meathead, Coach Siggy. You're a
Yeah.
meathead. You're just
And
yeah,
I encourage my clients to do it too. I'm like, you know what? It
yeah.
may look a little bit silly, but when you have that visual image of what you have to drink in a day, it makes it so much easier rather than like refilling your water
I
bottle multiple
agree.
times a day. But yeah, definitely in the winter here, it's a little bit harder to drink water just
Yeah,
because it is cold. But
yeah.
no excuses. We get it done anyways.
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny just with when the cold comes in where I'm at, I do realize that like it's weirder because you can't like you do have to tell yourself to drink water. You're not sweating as much, you're kind of you have to remind yourself like, hey, all right, you got to drink water, got to do that.
It
So
has to be a habit. It has to
I
be part of
know,
your.
and I don't carry my gallon jug around with me. I'm not the one who's going to be like, having the Sharpie with his like measuring lines on his freaking jug of water. So
Well, maybe you should, Ian.
maybe I should. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. I've tried it, but like I forget. And then like then you're refilling the freaking gallon jug and you look stupid. You feel like a dumbass. You're like, all right, I'm just gonna sit here for 5 minutes while my damn
Yeah,
thing fills up. So yeah, I
it's
don't
true.
know.
I rock it.
You could be like people here that have like the cool looking water bottles that are like bigger, that are humongous, and they're like, "No, I'm serious, man. This is the way to go." I'm like, you look
That's
stupid
right.
right now. Yeah, but it's okay. You don't look stupid, Siggy. You're fine. You're fine. I like the water consumption thing. It's perfect. So, what do you do personally in the gym? Because I know you're big into cycling too. You're a cycling gal. You do
Yeah, I used
cycling.
to teach. I used to teach spin
Mm-hmm.
for a long time. That's how I got started. Actually, I was in group fitness and teaching
Nice.
spin. It was one of the first activities I got started in when I started training for hockey. So it's been with me for a long time. I'm big
Sure.
into cycling. We don't have much spin where I am. I'm in a small town. We don't have any spin really here anymore. So
Yeah.
um, that's been put on the back burner. But I lift a lot of weights. I'm a
Nice.
big, yeah, I'm a big advocate of build first. So
Yes.
like it goes along with the calories. It's like people assume that you need to do all this cardio to lose weight, but
Uh huh.
you have no foundation to begin with. So
Uh
I'm a
huh.
really
Yep.
big advocate for muscle mass. I think it's the one thing that can prevent injury, disease, illness, is just like increasing your muscle mass first. And then adding cardio in where needed down the road when you're in a healthy place to do so. But definitely like first things first for me are
Muscle
weightlifting.
mass. I
Yeah.
think, man, when people listen to this podcast, they're going to get a lot out of this. This is amazing because you're right. Like you're saying that the weightlifting has to be the foundation, because people
That's
often go the opposite direction, especially if they're trying to lose weight. They automatically assume that cardio has to be priority one, and they don't even think about the muscle building aspect. They don't think about the afterburn. They don't think about the fact that the more muscle you build, more calories you burn doing nothing. So there's just a lot of that weight training needs to be one, and then you kind of fill in the gaps with cardio or variety of cardio, not just walking on the treadmill, different things.
Yeah.
The cycling, the freaking cycling. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
like for me and what I promote for my clients is like we train to build you up, not break you down. So when you come into the gym, you should feel better when you leave than when you came in. If you're crawling out of my gym or you feel like you're going to puke after every workout, then we're not doing the right thing. We're doing damage long term. Of course, there's going to be workouts that are more challenging than others, but for the majority, it's general fitness and health. You should feel good when you leave. You should feel good on your fitness program. You shouldn't feel pain in your knees and back because you're lifting so much or you're doing a million box jumps. It's really about building you up.
I love that. I love that because then it becomes a stress-free approach to fitness as opposed to just dreading walking into a gym. Yeah.
That's right.
And I'll ask you this. This is a massive, massive question because this is something that pertains to women's fitness. It's the idea of quote unquote bulking up. And you kind of broke down the myth of that, you know, because I know with people I talk to, they are very afraid with weight training of bulking up when in fact the muscle looks good. You know, it's not just pure bulk. It's actually aesthetically pleasing muscle, you know? So,
that's another one of the things that I have to educate on every day, all the time, whenever someone starts in my gym, especially women, is like, it's physically impossible for you to look like the Hulk. You don't have the testosterone or the frame to build that.
Yeah.
Getting better with time. Like I do think that, you know, women and people in general are becoming smarter consumers, especially when it comes to diet and fitness. So I do see a lot of women eager to lift weights, especially in my gym. So that's really exciting for me. And it's because they're starting to feel and see the difference when they do that.
But you're a good trainer. That's why they like doing it. So I mean, it's something you're doing. I don't think it's weird. I think you've got that ingredient then. You're telling them something that's making them want to lift weights then. You know, it's because I think here it's really hard, especially for me when I just started out. I didn't freaking understand how to do it right. I didn't know how to tell people to weight train and make them consistent with that, you know? But yeah, so you own your own gym then? You got your own space?
Yeah, we opened, I opened my gym in October of 2020, so kind of right in the middle of the pandemic, which seems like a silly thing to do,
but it's recent. That's awesome.
It's been great so far.
Can I ask you this? Is Canada still shut down? Are you guys like it's still in quarantine to a certain degree, or you guys?
Yeah, we're in lockdown right now, so it's stay-at-home orders. You can basically only go out for groceries. The gym's been closed since Boxing Day, so December 26th, and this is our second lockdown. So hopefully the last, fingers crossed, that all goes well, and hopefully we're out soon.
So you haven't been so your gym's been closed since then, and you've kind of been doing at-home stuff, I guess.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That's a tough one. That's hard because I see all these, you open up a gym and everything, and then everybody did that, and then the lockdown hit and all that crap. You know how it goes.
It is hard, but I've been telling people it's been better than ever because people realize the importance of physical and mental health right now, and the important role fitness plays in that. People are more motivated and more committed to changing their lifestyle than ever right now because of what's going on. They really see how fitness makes such a huge difference in their life and plays such a huge role.
Yeah, you're right. And then it allows them to achieve some sense of variety as well. Maybe if you were a big meathead in the gym and lifting weights, then you're at home all of a sudden and you got to figure out how to transfer that to some degree back to the house, That would be, man, that's the ticket right there. Like how are you going to maintain fitness? How are you going to keep going? How are you going to deal with that stress? So, yeah, no, that's amazing. What's the name of your gym? Is it
It's looking Jolt Fitness.
Jolt Fitness. Yeah, I was looking at your Instagram. I like your logo. That's pretty dope. Thanks, there you go. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, for sure. What do you eat right now? What's your diet consist of?
My diet is really balanced. Like I think when people talk to trainers, they think that their diet and their fitness program is going to be this extravagant, detailed, full of intermittent fasting,
Hell
and
no.
all the latest trends. And it's
Hell to the
my
no.
diet's really normal. I eat a high protein diet with lots of vegetables
There you
and
go. High protein diet with lots of vegetables. That's the dip. Do you eat? Oh no, I guess you can't. You can't do carbs, huh? Yeah, I
yeah,
can't.
yeah, like
Okay.
I'm limited in that sense, but I get enough carbs through, vegetables
Sure.
and fruit, so it works for me.
How often are you going to be eating fruits and vegetables? Like what's the are you doing that with every single meal that you consume? Cuz that's kind of I guess you'd have to be eating a lot more of that to make up for the lack of like, other carbs, breads and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
to hit my that's the thing. At first, when I increased my calories, it was hard. I feel like I couldn't eat anymore. It felt like I was like
Probably.
stuffing my face. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
so you do have to find ways to like be smart with your
Mhm.
calories. I think the problem is that most people are eating processed foods and and that's why their calories are either too high or it's hard to hit because everything
Yeah.
they're eating is like a diet product. But for me, what really works is high protein, high fat, and lots of vegetables. So really the biggest thing and the first thing I teach my clients when we really start looking at their diet is the
Mhm.
importance of protein and hitting that every day, that goal. So I typically would recommend, at least 1 gram of protein per
Mhm.
pound of lean body weight. So if
I
you're
agree.
lean body weight, not your goal body weight, because I say to people, your goal body weight could be pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Like your goal, like especially if you have these tendencies to follow diet culture, your goal weight could be pretty unrealistic, but your lean weight. So
It's a good one.
your
That's a
lean weight, so
great piece
you're,
of
I'm
advice.
probably aiming for 140, 150 grams of protein a day. And that's a lot of protein.
It is. It is, and it's really it's hard to get in. Once you start trying to eat that much, or you try to go down that path, you start to realize you're like, oh my god, this is a lot. I am not hungry.
Yeah, especially when you're just, starting out. Like now it's easy for me because my body craves it. My body needs it. My body knows it's, at its
Hmm.
best when I am eating that. So really making sure I get protein in at every meal and then healthy fats like olive oil. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
There
then
you go. That's a good one.
veggies, but I don't follow like I don't follow any diets. Like I know veganism is big right now and
Yeah.
keto is big a month
Uh,
ago, and I think
uh,
it's cyclical. There's going to be a new diet in 6 months from now, and then there's going
yeah.
to be a new diet 6 months after that, and they just repeat themselves in a circle. Like keto is just a low or a high fat diet, and that's been done before. Like this isn't
Has.
anything.
Yeah.
This
It's
isn't
just.
anything new. It's just new marketing.
Yeah, it's just relabeling something. It's coming at the industry with new terms for old stuff. So, and to your point too, it's funny, it's I talk to people about veganism a lot, and I get so many conflicting opinions about veganism. So many people talk about the energy side of things. So, and people talk about that when it comes to keto, when it comes to intermittent fasting, veganism. It's always the energy, like, oh man, I feel great. This energy spike is amazing. But talking to people, it's sort of this, it's like just a mental game. Eventually it's like a placebo effect. It's probably going to go away. You're probably going to hit another plateau, and you're going to have to eventually do your version, which is the reverse dieting. You're going to
Yeah.
eventually have to get out of it at some point. So you're right. It's just all these elimination diets are never going to give you super long-term progress. Your body's going to maybe deteriorate at some point as opposed to
Yeah.
giving you progress. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's unbelievable. Do you still do group classes and everything, or have you kind of switched to the one-on-one training? Because I know you said you did it with the cycling, or do you do it? You probably have group
Jolt
classes with your
Fitness is a
gym.
hybrid. So
Yeah,
Jolt Fitness is a hybrid. So we do personal training and group fitness. So we have
nice.
other coaches in the gym as well. So
Hmm.
it's a good mix. I'm pro both. I think group fitness is so fun.
Yeah.
It gives people an opportunity to show up and get coaching without,
Yes.
having the one-on-one price tag. And it's exactly what some people need, just a community, some guidance, and a good time. And that's what's going to make them healthy long term. And I enjoy that too. And I think one-on-one training or two-on-one training is also important because some people do need the extra guidance. They have maybe a goal they need to reach, or they just need the accountability, or maybe they do a mix of both one-on-one training and group fitness. So I do think both are important and both are great to do
Hmm.
as long as your coach is, educated to handle
Yeah.
both.
Yeah, because it's the one-on-one training thing has more involvement with the matching. So you have to kind of match yourself with the right client, match yourself with the right trainer. Whereas the group fitness thing, it's not necessarily about that. It's you're feeding off the energy of the people around you, and
Mhm.
you're getting a lot more optimistic stimulus from people. So I think, yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, I think group training is kind of where I'm starting to trust that more than one-on-one
Mhm.
training. I don't know. I'm just seeing it with everything coming out with, you got Beachbody, you got all the big companies that do that. I think it's the way to go. I really do. So,
I really think it's
mhm.
dependent on the person. I
Yeah.
really do. And I think it's dependent on the gym as well. Like I've seen group fitness done really wrong. Like
Hmm.
it's like the problem with I see in group fitness is that people treat it like a normal job. Like you're walking into a subway to apply for a job and now all of a sudden you're a group
Interesting.
fitness instructor.
Interesting.
Where as one-on-one personal training is more like a healthcare professional, So what we try to really do at Jolt is take that one-on-one personal training education and apply it to group fitness, because I do think group fitness gets butchered a lot, and
Yeah.
it just turns into a place where come in here, work as hard as you can, and then leave. And that client didn't learn anything about their body, how their
Interesting.
body mechanics work, or anything like that. So we really take the education piece and apply it to our group fitness, which is really what makes us different.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about there being like bad group training principles because that makes sense to me. It's so you do need an education piece when you're trying to do proper group fitness. You can't just tell them to do the workouts and like do this without
Mhm.
throwing in its benefits or its what it actually is meant to do for you. So,
Yeah.
that's
And just
cool.
just proper programming too, like
Yeah.
giving them enough rest within the group fitness class, making sure people are lifting the right weights for them.
Yeah.
So I'll have people doing, barbell deadlifts, and I'll have somebody doing a kettlebell deadlift, like deadlift or
Nice.
a glute bridge if that's where they're at. So we really meet people where they're at so that
Nice.
even though they're in a group fitness class, it's still customized to what they need within reason.
I like that you make people do deadlifts and kettlebell deadlifts. That's good. That's really good. I've often I think people get scared of the compound lifts and the squats and everything. So yeah, I think making putting the focus on all these big movements is perfect. Because I think
Yeah.
maybe that's one of the reasons group training doesn't work out too well is maybe there's a bigger focus on like the things that don't really give you any benefit. It's maybe smaller movements, not as transferable. So
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
a hell like the I don't know, maybe like a lot of donkey kicks or something, one-legged donkey kicks. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Yeah.
see that a lot.
You see that a lot?
But
Do you
yeah,
guys do that? Do you do
no,
you like the
we
donkey kick, Siggy?
I think there's a time and place when they're good, for warming up
Yeah.
or, adding volume at the end. We don't particularly use them. Things
Mm.
like that a lot, like the small movements. We're really big on moving the big rocks, like your push,
Yes.
your pull, your hinge, your squat, your carry, or your brace. So we really
Yeah.
try to bring in, the fundamentals.
Do you actually have them move big rocks? Is that was that a figure of speech? Or are you actually doing that? Because now you might have to implement that because that sounds damn cool. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what we need around here. Some
Yeah,
tires
do
flipping
like a
rocks.
Scotland thing where they just lift heavy ass rocks. And they're like, well, my
Yeah.
workout, I have to lift 200-pound stones, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's at home training when you're,
yeah,
in a
exactly.
big
It's yeah,
stuff.
denting their floors in their apartments. Yeah,
But
exactly.
realistically, that's what the gym should do. The gym should build you up so that when you leave, your quality of life
Hmm.
is increased. Whether
Hmm.
that's you feel better, moving furniture around your house, chasing your kids, whatever it is, the gym should transfer into that.
Absolutely true. Yeah, it needs to be. It needs to be a movement transfer. You have to sit there and I guess that's why deadlifts are so great, squats are so great. All of these big ass movements are so amazing. So
Mhm.
yeah. So you just plan to keep on building up Jolt Fitness. That's kind of your main squeeze right now, business
Yeah.
wise. Yeah. Well, that's
Yep.
cool.
Yep. So, I
Yeah.
mean, we were only open for
Yeah. A few
3 months
months.
before we
Yeah.
got shut down. So it's kind of like we're reopening again and restarting again when we
Yeah.
do get to do that. And then I also have online programs available where
Yeah.
people can take me with them to the gym
Yeah.
through my app. So, everybody has access to Jolt wherever they are.